Who do you think you are?
I'm Odessa Galloway, sir. I'm the last of the Ramblers. I've come here to perform a song for you in exchange for Yuri's life. I believe I'm the one.
Oh, well, why didn't you say that in the first place? Priscilla, my darling, our search is finally over. This little peach is the one. You are zero!
We interrupt this program to bring you...
All right, everybody, my name is Kevin.
And my name's John.
And we are the Real Movie Guys, and welcome back to another episode of The Real Review, the series where we review and discuss all your favorite movies. On today's episode, we're taking a look at Odessa. A farm girl in search to recover a cherished family heirloom travels to a strange and dangerous city where she meets her one true love. To save his soul, she must put the power of destiny to the ultimate test. Okay, John, sometimes a movie pops up every now and then where you go, that might be interesting. And that's kind of what happened here. I saw this trailer on Hulu randomly pop up, and I'm like, let's talk about this. I'm down for like a good like rock opera kind of, vibe here, some steampunk vibe, whatever it's got going on.
You don't get too many opportunities so you might as well watch it.
And I remember telling you, and I remember you looking at me like, okay, I guess we're going to talk about this movie. And I'm like, yeah, I want to give it a shot. I like Sadie Sink. I think she's really talented, and that comes through in this movie. But overall, man, it wasn't that great. I'm sorry. I guess I feel like I wasted a lot of people's time. I feel like it does waste a lot of people's time. Wasted my time a little bit. Usually I can say something positive like, hey, this movie could have been really good. After I watched it, I really don't know if it could have been, honestly, for what they were going for. What are some of your overall thoughts, just based on what you saw?
I can agree with you that it didn't, to summarize, it didn't do a whole lot for me, but I do appreciate that they went for it.
Sure.
In that it's a rock opera, like you mentioned. And I didn't read anything about it before you recommended that we watch it, so I just watched it completely blind, and I was kind of intrigued by the idea of combining two older sort of cultish movies that I liked somewhat. I don't know if you've ever seen Six String Samurai.
Yes, of course, yes.
Where Buddy Holly with a samurai sword goes across the post-apocalyptic wasteland and tries to claim the king of Elvis from Las Vegas.
Pick that up instantly.
Weird idea for a movie.
When that came out,
right?
I was obsessed, yes.
But I think that the makers of this have seen that movie.
I would assume, yes.
And combining that with sort of the slick, neon, grimy, futuristic look and vibe of the Keanu Reeves movie with the sort of cyberpunk Johnny Mnemonic.
Oh, okay, yeah, right.
I got kind of Johnny Mnemonic influenced Six String Samurai with rock music and country twang, and I kind of thought, well, I'm not feeling anything watching this, but I at least appreciate that they tried to do something, an amalgamation of very different things.
Right, so. And I think what you just said there, I think is probably the biggest issue with this entire movie. I just was not feeling it. None of the music. You know what? When you see something like a musical or something like that, usually you come away with like humming at least a song or something to yourself. Like, even after Wicked, I was humming the stupid song.
I was going to bring up Wicked as well. I'm not a musical guy, but Wicked was great.
And let's be fair, this isn't Wicked. No one's saying this is Wicked to a phenomenal level or anything like that. But usually there's at least a song or something I would hum, or even if it like came up on like a playlist, maybe I'd add it to it. Not a single song, man. I tell you, they all sounded either identical or just left zero impression on me throughout the whole thing. And that's really disappointing, right? Especially like you said, this movie is all style over substance, which that's fine sometimes. But the problem is it also doesn't really commit to the style half of the time. Either it's really good or really bad. And I don't know if that's intentional or not. Did you get that kind of vibe? Because there's scenes that look like, whoa, that looks really cool, like that set. And then there's scenes
Very
like
interesting, unique.
and then there's
yeah,
like a
right.
boat where they take them to the island. There's this boat where they take the prisoners to this island. It literally has like string, like lights I can put on like from like a CVS on my boat, and it's like they're driving there. I'm like, is that intentional?
String LED lights wrapped around like a small room fan that's just spinning at the back of it that could not in any way influence the movement of this boat.
No.
And you're like, it doesn't make you wonder like fantasy movies sometimes do, like, oh, how did they think of that?
No.
It's like, no, you put it on there and it doesn't make any sense. And I know how you thought of it. It's just dumb.
No,
you know?
And there's like a large scene where there is a garbage dump in this movie, and it's like I feel like this whole movie's kind of garbage to some extent. No, that's mean. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it's up there with just being like, again, I feel like it wasted my time. So the biggest thing you're probably saying is like, what was like the main thought as far as the storyline for this? So it's actually inspired by a Greek mythology. I looked this up because I wasn't sure. I kind of had the idea for it when I watched it, but it's based on the myth of Orpheus and Eurydice. This is a tragic love story from ancient Greek mythology. Orpheus is a gifted musician who falls in love with Eurydice, but tragically dies. Determined to bring her back, Orpheus embarks on a perilous journey to the underworld. The tale explores the theme of love, loss, and the human condition. That's what this is, essentially. I'm sure English teachers everywhere are thriving with happiness over, this existing so they can show it to their class to make something a little more interesting, which I guess it does to some extent. But again, I just feel like it shoots its shot and it just misses most of the time. That's really
and I would recommend, and you can disagree with me if you'd like to, but if any English teacher out there wants to take a movie that's based on a ancient Greek story and is a musical and is very visually interesting, you could just watch Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
I agree, 100%.
Much better movie.
One of my favorites, absolutely. It makes the Odyssey so much more interesting. And I can't say the same for this movie. The best thing that really comes out of this, and I have to give her all the props in the world, Sadie Sink as Odessa is definitely the best part of this entire movie. Absolutely phenomenal voice. I know she is or was on Broadway at some point performing, so I could definitely see that. She definitely carries the movie. Any kind of emotion that they are trying to push through, she definitely carries it. I think she does. I think she does a great job with what she's given, which isn't very much, unfortunately. Her counterpart, who I thought was also pretty good, I think his name is Rivik Angula, something like that. I can't remember his name, but he was actually pretty decent too. And I did believe some of the chemistry between the two characters. The problem is, like everything else in here, there's also an issue with the pacing where it starts off kind of slow and sets it up. In the beginning, I'm like, all right, this is kind of interesting. She's like the farm girl. She burns her house down, yada, 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 goes to the city. And then she gets her guitar stolen. And then she finds this guy. She's interested in him. And it ends up like they have a love story connection. Then it super speeds runs through that where he like has like a drug addiction problem, overcomes that. It's kind of just a mess. Right. And then they feel like they want to rush to the finale, but nothing in the finale is really earned because we rushed so much through the middle. I felt like.
Yeah, I agree with you. By the time it got to the end, I did like the kind of campy villain character. I thought he was all right, but I didn't really care what the outcome was of the last 20 minutes of the movie. It was they tried to build it up as a very tense situation, and
there was
it
no
didn't
tension
really
whatsoever.
hit.
Yeah,
No,
it was kind of
not
just
really.
it was just like way over the top for no reason. He was really good, the main villain. I think Murray Bartlett, which I've seen him. If anyone's seen the Last of Us TV show, he was actually in there. He was one of the side protagonists or one of the side characters in the episode.
Interesting.
He was also in White Lotus. I think he was in the first season of White Lotus. He was the hotel manager, and he's a fun guy. You could tell he was definitely, I think out of everyone, he was just having the most fun with his dialogue. He was just going crazy. His song was like almost memorable. He had like one song towards the middle, and I'm like, that's kind of fun. I did actually enjoy that. But again, the worst thing about this movie is it's a bunch of ideas thrown at the wall, and none of them seem to mix well with each other, unfortunately. It's a collage of different styles and themes, filming techniques, zoom in, zoom out, color theories, and whatever kind of trick you want to throw at it. And unfortunately, it doesn't work. I really wish it did, though. You know, again, I think it could have had potential, but how you would have fixed it, I really don't know, to be honest with you.
I think, and I don't know why this stuck in my mind, but when you mentioned zooming in, there was a shot where it zoomed in really close on a security camera that was watching her.
Yeah.
For no reason. It just zoomed in on the
Right.
security camera. And it reminded me of Gentlemen Broncos, a very weird movie by the director of Napoleon Dynamite,
Oh, okay.
but a comedy.
Yeah, right.
And a way over the top silly one. It has Sam Rockwell, who I love in it.
Oh, yeah.
And I think maybe this movie could have been more successful if it didn't take itself so seriously,
Right.
and had a little more fun with it, and maybe even was just partially a comedy. I don't know, because the ideas are so big and wild. But yeah, I couldn't take it as seriously as it wanted me to, and I didn't really get the emotional impact it was trying to deliver.
Right, and it's interesting because unlike another movie that we'll be talking about on the channel either before or after this, I haven't really decided yet, you gotta have to have some kind of budget behind some of these big ideas when you put something out there, because otherwise they kind of fall flat like this, and it looks like you're looking at a really bad independent movie. And, you know, even in a bad independent movie, a lot of them are better than this, I have to say, and this probably had, you know, a decent-ish budget. I wouldn't say it was probably anything crazy, but, you know, again, a lot of ideas, a lot of style, just didn't really know what to do with it. But John, I think we've talked enough. I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to go ahead and give Odessa a 5.2 out of 10. It wasn't for me. You know, I give it some points for kind of just existing. I think it is somewhat interesting. The style, again, the music, it's all there, but it's just not memorable or impactful in any way, shape, or form. Sadie Sink really kind of just saved it for me. I do think her voice is absolutely phenomenal. I know she'll do well in other projects, and I kind of can't wait to see her other projects. And you know what? Fingers crossed, man, that we actually get like a good rock opera in the future, because it can be done. We've seen it done before. This just wasn't it. John, what do you think, man?
I liked it slightly more than that, but not much more. I would probably give it about a 6 out of 10. I was mostly entertained for about 50% of the movie.
Yeah.
Didn't really have any emotional reaction to it, but wasn't offended by the way they put it together either. It just didn't land, but didn't flop either.
Yeah, again, it kind of just exists, unfortunately. And I wish it's one of those things where it's such a unique idea and like perspective that they're trying to go for here. It really should be something more than that, right? It definitely should stand out more and be more interesting. And not every movie's going to be a hit, but you know, when you say you're going to make a musical, especially in this kind of climate of movie that we have, it's really got to stand out now. You know, we have a lot of stellar musicals out there, and Odessa wasn't it. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Did you enjoy it? Did you actually watch this movie? It is streaming on Hulu. If you do have access to that, I definitely recommend it. Just to give it a shot, see what you think. You know, sometimes we're way off base. Sometimes we're right on target. I think we're pretty close on this one. I don't know how much people are really loving this movie. But again, something different, something unique to check out. So I do want to know what you guys think in the comments below. But that all being said, my name's Kevin. That guy's John. We are your Real Movie Guys. Real guys, real movies, real thoughts. We'll see you in the next one.
If you guys like what you've seen here today, consider giving this video a like and leaving your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to stay up to date with everything Real Movie Guys related, make sure to hit that subscribe button and check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And don't forget, all you audio listeners at home, we are available on many podcasting platforms. Just search The Real Movie Guys, you should pop right up. Thank you again all so much for joining us on this episode of The Real Review. We are The Real Movie Guys. Real guys, real movies, real thoughts. Catch you next time.